In the quiet town of Brooksville, nestled between rolling hills and winding rivers, life appeared simple. Neighbors greeted one another. Families gathered for Sunday dinners, and the town thrived on trust and tradition. But beneath the calm surface of this community was a storm brewing, one that would eventually explode in betrayal, obsession, and a deadly confrontation. The story begins with Claire Thompson, a woman known for her beauty and charm. To the townsfolk, Claire seemed to have everything. A devoted husband, Mark, who worked long hours as an architect, and a teenage daughter who excelled in school. From the outside, they were the picture of stability. But inside their home, cracks had begun to form. Mark's dedication to his career left Claire feeling neglected and alone. Nights spent at the office turned into weekends away on business trips, and the laughter that once filled their house grew silent. It was during one of those lonely evenings that Claire met Daniel Harper. He was new in town, a charismatic man in his early 30s, with a confident smile and eyes that seemed to read right through you. Daniel was hired as a project manager at a local construction company, and he and Claire met by chance at a cafe downtown. Their conversation was light at first, but sparks flew almost immediately. For Claire, Daniel was everything her husband no longer seemed to be: attentive, playful, and deeply interested in her. What began as casual conversations over coffee quickly escalated into stolen afternoons, secret phone calls, and passionate encounters. The affair was intoxicating, a dangerous mix of excitement and danger. For Claire, Daniel became an escape from the emptiness of her marriage. But for Daniel, it was much more than that. He was falling deeply, obsessively in love. As the months passed, the affair grew hard to conceal. Friends began to whisper about Claire's absences, and Mark noticed changes in his wife's behavior. The late-night texts, the sudden need for errands, the distant look in her eyes. Though he confronted her gently at first, Claire brushed off his suspicions with excuses. But the more Mark pressed, the more she pulled away. Daniel, on the other hand, began pushing for something more permanent. He wanted Claire to leave her husband and start a new life with him. He painted a picture of freedom, passion, and happiness, just the two of them against the world. But Claire hesitated, despite her unhappiness. She wasn't ready to abandon her family or risk the scandal that would follow. That hesitation would soon cost her everything. Daniel grew frustrated. What began as romance turned into obsession. He started showing up unannounced at Claire's house, sending her dozens of messages in a single night, and following her when she tried to create distance. Friends noticed his possessive behavior, but Claire, torn between fear and desire, struggled to cut him off completely. One fateful evening, everything unraveled. Mark, who had been quietly gathering evidence of the affair, decided to confront his wife once and for all. He came home early from work, determined to demand the truth. But as he walked into the dimly lit house, he wasn't met by Claire alone. Daniel was there too. The confrontation was explosive. Mark's anger boiled over as he accused his wife of betrayal, and Daniel, already on edge, stepped forward to defend her. Words turned to shouts, shouts turned to shoves, and in the heat of the moment, violence erupted. In the chaos, Claire tried to intervene, but Daniel's obsession and rage had consumed him. He reached for a heavy object from the mantel and struck Mark with devastating force. The silence that followed was deafening. Claire stood frozen as her husband collapsed to the floor, blood pooling beneath him. Daniel, breathing heavily, realized what he had done. There was no going back. Claire's world crumbled in that instant. The affair that once seemed like an escape had turned into a nightmare. Daniel, desperate and panicked, begged her to run away with him, insisting they could still be together. But Claire, horrified and overcome with guilt, called the police instead. When authorities arrived, they found Mark lifeless, Claire in shock, and Daniel attempting to flee. He was arrested on the spot. His dream of a life with Claire shattered. In the trial that followed, the details of the affair spilled into the public, shaking the town to its core. Claire, though spared from prison, was left to live with the weight of her choices. The betrayal of her husband, the destruction of her family, and the knowledge that her desire for passion had ended in tragedy. The story of Claire, Mark, and Daniel became a haunting cautionary tale in Brooksville. It reminded the townspeople that beneath the surface of passion can lurk obsession, and that choices made in secrecy can have consequences far darker than anyone can imagine. And so, the affair that began with stolen glances and whispered promises ended in bloodshed, a chilling reminder of how love, when twisted by betrayal and obsession, can turn fatally destructive. Please subscribe for more true crime stories.